Good Tuesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Chester Peterson. Let's go ahead and talk about the weather for your Tuesday evening going into your future. We have some stuff that we're going to go on and talk about tonight. What are we going to talk about? Well, obviously, we will talk about the weather for tonight, currently, as well as for tomorrow's weather, and then as well as our short term future and long term future. And then what's on tap for tonight for our main topics? Number one, we're going to talk about our prolonged, unseasonably cold Arctic air mass that dominates through early next week. We also will talk about our dry and stable pattern as we go mid to late week. And then we also talk about the increasing potential for winter weather this weekend. And so that's all that we're going to talk about really for tonight, and especially as we get into this cold Arctic air mass and this winter storm. So if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. It really does help the channel out. Right now we have around 7 people watching and only 2 likes. So if you're a part of that 5 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. It's free and you can change your mind at any time. Same thing with the subscribe button. We are at 679 subscribers. We are 1 subscriber away from 680. 1 from 680. And we are obviously 21 away from that main goal of 700 subscribers. We're getting closer and closer by the day. Let's continue to push. We can get to 680 by tonight. So let's go on and get there. And then also, hit the share button. Share with your friends, your family members, your acquaintances, even people that you don't even talk to like that, or somebody that you might not even like that much, because it goes on. And sharing is caring. We all know that. Sharing is indeed caring. And so, since that is the case, even sharing to somebody that you may not even like that much, you never know, might spark something. Might spark something. Two might become friends again. Who knows? Who knows what could happen? But just go on and share it with them. So let's go on now and look at current conditions. So currently, right now, nothing in terms of convection wise. We are all good in terms of convection. But what about the entire state in terms of actual alerts? We do have a special weather statement up here inside of the upstate from Greenville to Spartanburg to Boiling Springs, Gaffney, Rock Hill, Pickens, Anderson, all these areas. And it is for patchy black ice again tonight into Wednesday morning. Temperatures are expected to fall below freezing again by 8 o'clock this evening. And then also with that runoff from melted snow, sleet will refreeze on those untreated roads. Patchy black ice can be expected once again tonight through Wednesday morning, especially in spots that are normally shady. So that's what they're going to expect up there inside of the far upstate up here, including the Greenville, Spartanburg area. So if you know anybody up there, or if you are up there, make sure that you are careful if you are going to be driving to either tonight or tomorrow morning. Got to watch out for that black ice. That goes all the way for like another 12 hours or so. So that goes probably for around like the next, to around like 9 o'clock in the morning-ish is when this will expire. Let's go on and see what's going on throughout the entire U.S. Well, we do in fact have some snowfall going on in West Virginia, Kentucky, some snowfall going on up here in New York, also over here inside of Pennsylvania, some snow off the coast as well. Maybe even some snowfall in South Dakota, some rainfall in eastern Texas, like a very isolated shower. And then as you move over here towards the Pacific Northwest, look at all this rainfall that we have over here that comes through from the coastal areas of Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. This is all rainfall right here. That's going to show up here. If we go on now and look at our cloud cover for the most part for right now actually seems relatively clear. Not really too much cloud cover at all. I went outside a bit earlier and there was no clouds at all inside the sky, so looking clear right now. But as we go into the future, that will change. That will change. As we go into tonight, we're going to start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. You go in and push this forward all the way through. Here's 11 o'clock p.m. right here. And you can already see clouds really starting to take over the upstate, the Midlands, the western low country, parts of the PD area as well. And then as you move all the way through, here is 1 o'clock in the morning, right here. And then even if you go on through 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock right here. And we see some clear spots, but for the most part, it's mostly cloudy. If you continue all the way through 9 o'clock, 10, 11, and 12 a.m. or 12 p.m., excuse me, you can start to see that cloud cover starting to loosen up a little bit more as you get more into the day. But look as we continue our way through. Here's 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., and everything just goes away. I mean, here we are at 6 o'clock p.m. right here, and we're completely clear again. We are completely clear again. So Nothing really to say after that except for clear conditions continue all the way throughout the night. Thursday morning comes along, and guess what? More cloud cover comes along, and once we get towards that afternoon and evening, it actually won't clear out. So Thursday could actually be pretty cloudy out there. Now, what about for your current temperatures? Current temperatures right now, you have around a good 31 in Somerville, 34 in Charleston, and 35 in Beaufort, 37 Hilton Head Island, as well as 29 in Conway, 34 in Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, Murray's Inlet, 32 inside of Georgetown, Florence, Hartsville, 32, Lugoff, 30 in Bennettsville, and 33 in Sumter and Orangeburg, 32, Aiken, and 33 in Columbia, 32 in Newberry, and 31 in Greenville, 30, Lawrence, and 29 York, 28 Gaffney, 27 Rock Hill, 29 inside of Spartanburg, and 31 in Clemson and Anderson. Air quality for tonight, we're all in the good category. You can see up there in the legend, we're all in the good category, so nothing to worry about here in terms of air quality. Now, what about for your low temperatures? Low temperatures for tonight, freezing for pretty much everybody, but 23 in Greenville, 23, Spartanburg, 23, Rock Hill, Chirrah, Dillon, 24, Florence, Camden, 26 in Columbia and Aiken, 27 in Orangeburg and Moncks Corner, 26 in Walterboro and Georgetown, 31 in Charleston, 33 Hilton Head Island, as well as 28 over there in Myrtle Beach. So it's all going to be pretty much below freezing tonight. I mean, that's far east at Myrtle Beach. High temperatures for tomorrow. Having a good 45 in Greenville, 45 in Spartanburg, as well as 45 in Rock Hill and Chirrah, 49 in Columbia, and 48 in Greenwood and Newberry, 46 in Anderson, and 47 in Aiken, 50 Orangeburg and Barnwell, as well as 47 in Kingstree, 48 Georgetown, and 50 in Moncks Corner, 52 in Charleston and Walterboro, and 53 Hilton Head Island. So it's going to continue to be cool again tomorrow, 40s and 50s for all of us. Rainfall for tonight, not expected. No rainfall tonight, tomorrow night until around 7 o'clock p.m. So we are good there in terms of rainfall, just total precipitation, just in general. Now I will say, as we will go throughout like the 3-day precipitation, we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it once we get there real quick. But let's go on and continue through this real quick. Crazy score for tonight, that is not the correct crazy score. The correct crazy score for tonight is up by 4. It's actually supposed to be a 52. So we're at a 52 inside the strong category. Why are we inside the strong category? Well, very dangerous cold. Those lows being in the upper teens, low 20s for some spots. That's what we're looking at for the most part. Now, it seems like most of us are inside of the low 20s for the most part. But you never know, you may have an isolated spot that might be trying to get close to the teens. And so that's why we say teens/low 20s. And so that sustained freezing threat, that qualifies for sure as a significant widespread hazard to life, especially with hypothermia, frostbite risk, especially with vulnerable outage scenarios, because if we go on and look at the power outage map right now it says that a lot of us have gained power back, but there's still 1,600 people without power in Oconee County. There's still 1,700 people in Pickens County without power right now. And so, yeah, that's only around 1% or 2%, but that's still 1% or 2% with no heat. So that's something as well to look at right now. And also, just with the wind chills. If we go on and look at the wind chills for tonight, for Tuesday night. There it is right there. Here's the wind chills. I mean, you can see for the most part we're down in the 20s. For a lot of us, even inside of the more coastal areas, we're all near around 28. So if those winds definitely do get going, it seems like right now that all of us will be in the 20s. But continue our way through, you have as well, there's going to be some radiational, potentially, no radiational cooling, but it starts off kind of ideal for radiational cooling, but then it will kind of go away, if that makes sense. As we continue through, like right now, it's ideal. You don't have too much wind. You have clear skies right now. You have very low humidity. But then as you continue your way through the night, that cloud cover will build. So right now, I do think that for right now it's good right now, but for later, I think that it will cloud up a bit more. It'll kind of block it a little bit more. And so that's the reason why we're at a 52. SPC outlook for tonight, thunderstorms are not expected for tonight. So we are good here. Tomorrow, absolutely nothing, so we're also good here. Going into day 3 on Thursday, nothing here either. So I will say that I do think, just as we continue throughout the rest of the week, that most likely won't be any sort of more thunderstorm activities as we continue throughout this week. No fire weather, no excessive rainfall or anything like that, so we're good there as well. And so let's go and now look at the models. Time is in the bottom. Yes, the bottom part of your screen, not the top spot. Top right where it used to be, but the bottom part of the screen. And so if we start off right here at 9 o'clock, we're going to start off with the short-term future first. And as you just go in and push this forward all the way through 3 a.m., 6 a.m., and all the way through to 9 a.m., 12 p.m., all the way through to around 10 o'clock p.m., going all the way to around 3 a.m. to 8, and just all the way through Thursday. I mean, it just looks like we're going to stay dry all throughout from tonight, going into tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. We just look good in terms of rainfall activity. So nothing to watch for here. Nothing to watch for. We can go and look at some temperatures, though. You can see right here, for the most part, that it looks like that we're going to continue to be below freezing tonight. We already saw that. High temperatures for tomorrow. Low temperatures for tomorrow night. For Thursday, I mean, we're all going to be back down to freezing again. And going to Thursday, going into Wednesday night, tomorrow night. Then as we get into Thursday, those temperatures will climb about where they were, or where they are going to be again, where it was today and then tomorrow. So nothing really is going to change there. So now the time that most of us has probably been waiting for, the long-term future, including this winter storm and this Arctic cold that will go on as we get throughout the next weekend or so. So we're going to start off here Thursday, 7 o'clock p.m. That's where we just ended off. You're seeing nice dry conditions right now, nothing going on. Go all the way through Friday. Friday looks relatively good all the way to 1 p.m., all the way to 4 p.m. Then once you get to around 7 o'clock p.m. on Friday, you're starting to see some isolated shower activity up there inside the Midland areas. That quickly transitions into snow. I mean, as early as 10 o'clock p.m., maybe even when I go live at 9 o'clock, we'll see what happens. Still 81 hours out. But for the most part, looks like that this snowfall activity will really start to expand, especially up there inside the upstate. Here's 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. You're seeing some rainfall activity on the bottom side of it, inside like the low country, the Midland areas. But that snowfall mainly going on up there inside of the upstate. But that low pressure is going to move off towards the south and east, away from us in the coastal areas, and that's going to bring that snowfall on that backside with that cold air. Then you're going to see all that snowfall, cold air moving to the Midland areas, maybe the northern PD areas, and it's going to slowly try to bring its way down south. I mean, you're seeing a good amount of snowfall, maybe even some a bit closer to the moderate to maybe even heavy side at times up there inside of the upstate and the Midland areas. Low country getting on some snow. You see some snow over there inside the PD, the Grand Strand areas. And remember, like I said, pay attention to the time in the bottom right, because that's definitely crucial. I mean, you're seeing 7 o'clock p.m. Saturday, a lot of snow falling throughout the state, and then it gets out of here by around 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and we're waking up to snow on the ground. Now, again, that's if this all happens. It's 117 hours out, but we are getting more and more closer to where we can confidently say who will be getting that snow, who will be waking up to snow on the ground. And so we're getting closer. Is it going to happen, though? Like I said, I think really once we get into tomorrow and Thursday, I mean, we'll really have that good idea of trying to see, who's going to get these totals, who's going to get this, who's going to get that. And so I just need it just for like another day or so, another day or two or so. And then that's when I'll be able to say, we're going to get snow, we're not going to. And that's when I'll start to get really confident of it. But as you continue your way forward, it gets out of there. And that's what we have there for the GFS. Now, what about for the European? So this is what the European has to say. We're going to start off back where we just were. We're going to push this forward all the way through Friday. And it has some snow. But look at this. The Euro actually has some sleet and some freezing rain kind of mixed into it. But definitely the most dominant precipitation type being snow. You see some, you see some sleet. You see snow going on. throughout a good amount of the area, and then we might even have a point in time to where pretty much all the states getting snowfall at the same time. Now, again, low resolution, so that probably may not happen, but going all the way through, here's 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, seeing snowfall all throughout from the Midlands towards the Low Country, and then it kind of just moves out by around 7 o'clock in the morning. So the same time frame of the GFS has it moving out by around 7 a.m. on Sunday. Then as you go into Monday, it gets out of here and moves out, and we're all good after that. And then we can also go in and look at the icon. Let me see, it's the icon. There it is. This one goes 120 hours out, but it shows some snowfall, going into the Midland areas, moving over here inside the upstate. Here's 1 p.m. on Saturday, 7 p.m. on Saturday. Snowfall all throughout this area. And then by 7 o'clock in the morning, like I said, it's out. It's gone. So that is one thing that I think that I am a bit confident about, is that it will be out of here by Sunday morning, for sure. Sunday morning, whether it will be the early morning or the late morning, that will still have to be defined. But for right now, Sunday morning, I think that's when this system is going to get up out of here. And then finally, the GDPS, which is pretty much just a Canadian model. As you go in and push this forward, it has a good amount of snowfall for sure. Here's Saturday, 1 o'clock p.m., showing snowfall all throughout the state, but it shows it kind of more on the lighter side, and we'll show the totals as well. It gets out of there. This one actually gets out of there same time, around Sunday, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., wherever around that time frame. So we're going to go in and look at the total snow totals for right now. If we want to go down to winter weather, we can go in and look at the total snowfall. And total snowfall, for the most part, shows most of that snowfall going on up here inside of North Carolina, but shows around a good 9 inches, like in Rock Hill, 2 inches over here near Columbia, 3 in Sumter, 5 in Florence. Shows only around a good half of an inch in Charleston. Shows around 4 near Myrtle Beach. Over here in the Tri-County areas, the more inland areas, 1 to around 3-ish of inches or so. 2 to 3 inside of the upstate, maybe even a little bit more, 5 to around maybe even 7-ish. But the highest that I'm seeing is 9, and that's over here near Rock Hill, closer to like central North Carolina, where they could potentially get 14 to like 18, 19 inches of snow. But even if you go on to the Euro as well, because I do want to go on and see what the Euro has to say in terms of total snowfall, the Euro has more of a more central approach to it all, around 7 to around 8-ish, maybe 9. Going on over here inside the Midlands, the PD areas brings around a good 2 to 3. Near Charleston brings around a good 4. Inside the inland Tri-County areas, bringing around 3 over here. Inside of Greenville, 3, 2 to 3. Near Anderson, around 3 to 4 near Myrtle Beach. Around a good 1 to 2, maybe even 3 down there near Beaufort, Hilton Island. And so this is just all the totals that we're looking at for right now in terms of now going into Monday, February the 2nd at 7 a.m. Now moving on over into the icon now. The icon does show total snowfall rates. And this one's definitely the least. Maybe the Canadian one might be a bit less or around the same. But this one definitely does not have a lot. Only around an inch or two. And that's about it for most. And then finally, the Canadian one having around a good... let's see. Run a good 2 to 4. I see 4 being the highest, maybe 5, 6 or so. At around 3 inside of Columbia, 2.2. Myrtle Beach, 1. Charleston, 3 over here inside of the upstate near Greenville, 2 near Anderson. And so that's one thing that I will say that we are still not confident about yet, and that is the totals. What are the totals going to be if this is to occur? If this is to occur, what will the totals be? What will we look like there? And so, if I go on and go back towards my day planner here towards the winter weather forecast, right now, this is probably going Saturday into Sunday, so if you do not count today, which we probably should count today, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish. So we're still around the 5 to 7 days out, but I think that we're really at that 3 to 5 days out. We're trying to look for the timing of it, the storm type. Is it snow, sleet, or ice? Because like I just showed you earlier with the European one, that one had some freezing rain. It had some sleet in it as well. And so that's something else also to take into account as well. This right here is back to the European. I don't know if they have... Yeah, no, they don't have total ice or freezing rain on here. But it showed some freezing rain for some areas as well. So, yeah, I mean, right now, if I go on real quick and check out the next 3 days, if we go over towards the South Carolina forecast, we can go over into ice. I mean, that the National Weather Service does not have anything for ice, so I think they're not that confident in ice or anything like that, or that confident in freezing rain accumulation. Here's what it looks like. Here's 3 days in terms of precipitation. Here's their 3-day forecast for snow. They have around a good amount, not quite for the Midlands yet. They don't have theirs out yet, but the National Weather Service at Charleston and Greenville, Spartanburg has theirs out. And then ice, like I said, freezing rain, anything like that. Nothing there at all. And so another thing that I do want to talk about, obviously, is the freezing cold. Yes, the freezing cold temperatures. Because that is obviously something else that we're going to have to look out for just as we go throughout not only this week, but also going into next week as well. So let me go ahead and put that up real quick. We want to look at the temperatures real quick. This is the temperatures right here. And so this starts off kind of near Monday, but we're going to go in and back it up real quick. We're actually going to go in and back this up all the way to Friday. Let's do Friday at 7 o'clock p.m. We're going to start this. You push it forward. You get to around Saturday morning, you see freezing temperatures. And look at this, 1 o'clock p.m. And this is one of the main reasons right here as of why we're going to get that potential snowfall. Is just because it's going to be so cold on Saturday. I mean, freezing temperatures in the upstate only in the 20s and 30s. And then look at 7 o'clock p.m. on Saturday. Everybody getting covered with freezing temperatures. Look at this here. Saturday at 10 o'clock p.m., we're all going to be in the 20s. A lot of us low 20s, and in the upstate, teens. Maybe even the mid-teens. So this is going to be a very, very cold weekend. Not only, with all that snow, but also if you continue it forward even more over into Sunday at 4 o'clock in the morning. Look at this. Temperatures down in the teens for the Midlands now. Teens, for maybe even the PD areas as well. You're seeing 20 in Myrtle Beach. You're seeing 24 inside of Charleston. You see 22, 24-ish going on over there inside of Hilton Head Island. And so that goes all the way through 7 o'clock in the morning, still in the teens. 10 o'clock, still in the teens. And then once you finally get to around 1 o'clock p.m., things start to go back to being tri-normal. But then as you go into around 4 o'clock p.m., down to 7 o'clock p.m., we're back to below freezing already. I mean, we get like a couple hours of above freezing, but then we go right back down. And not only that, but it's the wave that comes after it. This is Monday morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. You're seeing temperatures down, and this is without even wind chills, temperatures down to around 4 to 5, maybe even up to around 6 degrees-ish or so. You're seeing 2 degrees over here near, like, Spartanburg. You're seeing around a good 9 degrees over here near Anderson. And so these temperatures are also going to be low as well, and that's not even including wind chill. What about including wind chill? Wind chill into the mix, we're down to the negatives for people up here inside of the very far upstate. So, and even down near the coastal areas, you're down to the teens as well. Myrtle Beach, you're down near 10 degrees-ish, and that's with wind chill. So I do think that we definitely are not only going to have to watch out for snowfall, but just even if we don't get any snowfall at all, I mean, just these freezing temperatures. These freezing temperatures are just going to be just some of the coldest that we've seen in a hot minute. Especially if we get those wind chill values down into like the negatives. And one more thing I show before we go on and talk with the audience is that if we go on and look at the wind chills, not for tonight, but if we go into the wind chills for the next couple of days, or just the low temperatures in general. Like, for example, these are the high temperatures on Saturday. High temperature right here on Saturday. I mean, you're seeing right now temperatures being as high temperatures for around 28 in Spartanburg, Greenville, 27 in Rock Hill, 40s in the coastal areas, and that's especially down here inside of the low country. We've seen that already, especially throughout this past system right here. But, I mean, that's just the high temperatures. What about the low temperatures going into Saturday night? Down to the 20s for a lot of us, down into the teens up there. And then going into Sunday even, you go up, see the 30s, 40s-ish or so. And so that's just some of the temperature that we could potentially see as we go into this weekend. But that's all I have to say in terms of the long-term future. I mean, for the most part, it looks like that snowfall, I'm like 50-50 on it right now. I'm definitely 50-50. I'm not 100% yet. Not 100% yet. Like I said, I just need like another day or two, and then that confidence, and the models still show the same thing, that confidence is going to go up. But let's go ahead and start off with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And while I'm doing that, let me go ahead and put inside a poll inside the chat. I'm going to say, do you think it is going to snow? That's going to be my question. Do you think it is going to snow? That's the poll inside the chat right now. So go ahead and vote inside of that if you want to be a part of that. Let's go ahead and talk with the audience, which it actually does start off with Mr. Chris first. He says, "Good evening, everyone. Hope you all stayed safe and warm. I have. Thank you so much for that." My Aunt Lewis says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you." Mr. Chris says, "Please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button if you have not already. Also, share with everyone that you know. It's free and it helps the channel grow." He's absolutely correct. Right now, we have around a good, maybe he wants to try. No, I guess he gave up. All right, well, around like a good 11-ish people tuned in right now. We only have 9 likes. So if you're part of that too, go hit the like button, possibly even more. But again, like I said, this side completely just bugged out, but I can still see the chat over here. I have no idea why this shit's completely just shut down. But there's possibly even more. So go and hit the like button if you have not already. And then my Aunt Lewis says, "Hopefully everyone has had a nice day." I did. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Chris also says currently it's 34 degrees here, Moncks Corner and Clear. Right now at my house it's around 31. 31 right now, so it's already below freezing for us. I'm actually kind of shocked that it's not really below freezing for y'all yet either. And oh god, something's going on with this right here. And let me see if I can go in and close this up. See if I can open up another one. Oh, there it is. Okay, no, maybe. All right. Continuing my way down my ancestral ledger, I got lots of sunlight today. That's great to hear. Glad that you're able to go in and get that sunlight today. And then also, Mr. Anthony says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you." I'm pulling the chat back up. I'm pulling it back up. It just glitched out on me real quick. Let's see. Continuing down. Mr. Chris has been watching the news and seeing there's a chance for snow this weekend. And then also, my Aunt Lou says today in Georgetown we had a high of around 41-ish degrees. Around 41 degrees. Okay, there we go. We should be back right now. My high temperatures for today actually was around 44, 43-ish. So around 43, 44. Mr. Chris said was good. Stayed inside with my wife and stayed warm. Today in Georgetown was pretty cold also. Mr. Chris said, "I'm not sure what the high was, but it was cold and a light breeze." Well, thank you so much for that weather report over there. Trail says, "Hi everyone, hello to you." My Aunt Lewis says, "Nephew, I noticed on the local channel it said that we might get some snow on Saturday. What is your model saying?" Well, we just saw what it said, and for the most part, like I said, it also is saying snow as well. It's also saying snow. Mr. Chris says, "Just check my temperature here again. It's 33, wind chill of 31. I can go in and check out my exact wind chills as well. My exact wind chills right now, it says 32, but 31.8, and it feels like 32, so it says no wind chill right now. At the moment, our current weather is 28 degrees here in Georgetown. Mr. Chris also says, "Please remember to drip your pipes if they aren't protected. Also, check on the elderly and bring pets inside and plants going to be freezing." Absolutely. He's absolutely correct. I know, a lot of people might be carried on with the snow and all that kind of stuff, but you also got to worry about the freezing temperatures tonight, because that also will be a potential issue that some people might just look over. They might just be paying attention to this weekend and not tonight, even though it will be freezing tonight and throughout pretty much all week. Mr. Michael says, "Old Man Winter and Jack Frost seems to have found us here in the Palmetto State." They sure have. as we get into tonight and then going into this weekend as well. I'm praying for those who are without power, absolutely. Wow, that's a lot of cold weather all over again. All day I continue to keep things, everything charged up. The only thing I'm worried about is losing power. I mean, if you do lose power, I mean, I don't know in terms of winds right now what it's going to be looking like right now, because obviously, we're still a little bit out, so that could potentially change. But for the most part, really, if the power does go out, it's either if, has some wind with it, somehow the snow maybe might pile up on the line. That's potentially something else, possibly, or it's just somebody crashes into it, which is also possible as well because they're out there driving and they just decided that they were going to go out and drive in condition like that and then crash into a power pole. So all of that's definitely still possible. He also says, this is just my opinion. I believe that they should have a warming shelters not only in Charleston area but here in Moncks Corner area as well. I'm honestly surprised that they don't. I thought that usually major areas like that potentially may have some, but I guess possibly not. But that's it right now. Going throughout the chat right now. Right now, 71% thinks that it's going to snow. 29% thinks that it's not going to snow. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. We'll look at that at the end. So let's go on now and talk about the full locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, full locations, what am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these 4 areas who tune in almost nightly. And even though South Carolina is not even their main location, they still show up, still show their support either way. So we're going to start off with San Antonio first. Low temperatures tonight at 30. High temperatures tomorrow at 58. And then low temperatures tomorrow night at 33. Precipitation not expected at this time. Same thing with severe weather and excessive rainfall. In terms of your future, it looks like that you will warm up as you get into the next couple of days. But Friday going into Saturday, things will calm right back down until you get to Monday, where things will start to warm back up again. Might be a bit breezy Thursday night and Friday. But than that, next chance of rain, Tuesday, 20% chance of shower, so you're good in terms of rainfall. Then Raleigh, low temperatures tonight at 22, high temperatures tomorrow at 40, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 19. Precipitation, not expected at this time. Severe weather, excessive rainfall, not a thing either. And for right now, looks like that you will also have that chance of snowfall on Friday night, Saturday night. And so snow is likely on Saturday. Snow is likely on Saturday right now. And so things can change, but for right now, that's looking like the main thing. And it definitely will get cooler. And it will only get cooler. 40 for your high temperature tomorrow, 25 for your high temperature on Saturday. So it's going to get cooler as you go into this weekend. Then for Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 5, high temperatures tomorrow at 19, then low temperatures tomorrow night at 5 as well. Precipitation not expected at this time. A chance of snow potentially Saturday night going into Sunday. But for the most part, your main highlight's going to be just these low temperatures and the fact that they're not even going to rise. They're going to continue to go down until you get to around like maybe Sunday, Monday. We'll climb back up to around like the mid-20s for your highs, below 30s as you go into Sunday and Monday. But definitely a chance of snow Saturday night going into Sunday. And wind chills will be down all the way to -6 tonight, -7 on Wednesday. Tomorrow, -6 going into Wednesday night. So it's going to continue to be cold. And then finally, the last location being Duncan, Oklahoma, with low temperatures tonight at 13, high temperatures tomorrow at 37, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 23. Patchy freezing fog definitely will be expected as you go into tonight. Tomorrow, areas of freezing fog as well. No precipitation though, no excessive rainfall, no severe weather, but that freezing fog will be an issue. If you're out driving tonight, tomorrow, you got to make sure that you're paying attention for that because that freezing fog can not only, cause a disturbance in terms of, fog, you need to have your low beams on, you need to have that stuff on, but also, it could also cause some moisture to go on and hit the ground. And when that moisture hit the ground, guess what it does? It freezes. It does freeze. So you have to watch out for that as you get into tomorrow because you could potentially be in that situation to where the roads will potentially be slick. And in terms of your temperature, it looks like that you're going to try to get back up like Thursday, 42, but then it won't really last long Friday going into Saturday. You'll calm back down, but then you'll try to rise up again Sunday going into next week. And that's all that I have here throughout the 4 areas outside of South Carolina. What about the entire U.S.? The next blast of cold or of Arctic air surges down the plains across the Great Lakes and through the southeast and east Friday through Saturday. This could be a long duration of cold in several decades, like one of the longest duration of cold in several decades throughout parts of the east. Forecast models are being closely monitored for potentially another significant winter storm to impact the eastern U.S. this coming weekend. Confidence in coastal impacts has increased. So, and it's obviously not only is it us that's potentially getting in on this snowfall, but also, obviously I was saying North Carolina, Virginia, going over into Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, like all of these areas right here, even in Philadelphia, who you're just talking about, could also get some snow as well. So it's not only just us over here getting some snowfall. Some freezing temperatures will also be going on down there in Florida, also in southern Texas, southern Louisiana, down there over there near New Orleans. And then some fog will also be going on over here inside of the west in California and Fresno, Bakersfield, and areas like that. And I think that for the most part, that's about all that I have to say for tonight. Just make sure that you go on, bringing your pets inside. Make sure that you drip your pipes. If you need to open up them kitchen cabinets, get them open. If you need to go on and get your plants, bring them inside. Mine that are inside and probably will stay inside all the way through next week, because it's going to be freezing for us down here all the way through next week. So that plant's probably just going to sit in the garage for a good bit. Might bring it out for some sunlight. Obviously it needs water as well, but I think for the most part it's going to spend most of its time inside the garage. So I think that's what I'm just going to go on and do. Just got to remember to go on and bring it out for sunlight. Let me see what's going on down here. In terms of the chat, one more time, Mr. Chris says, everyone please remember to stay safe, warm, and hydrated. Absolutely. And for the chat right now, 75% thinks that it's going to snow. 25% says that they don't think that it's going to snow. So around that 3/4 split right there. Around that 3/4 split. That's all that I have, though, for tonight. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow morning for your Wednesday morning forecast update and for your Wednesday evening forecast update at 9 o'clock. Top fans of the night for tonight. Mr. Chris, I believe, is still at that top spot for tonight. And then as you go into number 2, my Aunt Lou's at number 2. Then my Nana's at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. If you want to be part of the top fans, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m., being a subscriber, being here early and being active. So let's go ahead and give them a round of applause for that. And so that's about all that I have. Again, like I said, tune in tomorrow for, again, another update. And make sure you hit those 2 buttons before you leave here tonight, because it's a very crucial time. Try to hit the 700. Let's also go on and get there.